So you would think if you're innocent and you tell a judge not guilty, then you would do everything to prove that, right? Like, take my DNA, it ain't me. That's not what Rex Heuermann's doing, the Long Island serial killing suspect. He's facing a world of hurt right now, right? He's facing 3 murder charges for 3 of the 11 bodies that were found on Gilgo Beach, suspected in the 4th, and the investigation is into all the others as well. So stay tuned. But he won't give his DNA. He won't let them swab his cheek. They said that the prosecutors haven't established probable cause to take it. Okay, that's one tack in a defense. Good luck with that. But, you know, they found the pizza crust, right? I love this. It's the tactic that the detectives follow their suspect. And when he tosses out whatever he's eating or drinking into the garbage, they grab it. There it is, right there, Manhattan trash can. Pizza box stuff right out of the top. Boop, right out of the top. And they grab it, the pizza crust still in it. DNA from his lips are all over it. Now they just need to test it against him. See if it's him or not. But he won't give it. So wait for that answer. We'll see how that all transpires. But in the meantime, it got us thinking about like the dumping grounds, right, of these, all the serial killers that have made big headlines across the country. And we sort of wondered why. Why do they pick the places that, because they do cluster them, right? They do pick places where they keep going back to dump their bodies. And we thought, is it random? We Googled it. Oh, my heavens. Okay, so look at this. I got the top 10 places where serial killers have dumped bodies. Number 10, Green River in Washington State. Number 9, Lincoln Park in Baltimore, Maryland. Number 8, Central Pine Barrens in New York. Number 7, Tacony Creek Park in Philadelphia. Number 6, Humboldt Park in Chicago. Number 5, East River, New York City. 4, Everglades National Park in Florida. Good luck ever finding those remains. Number 3, Mojave Desert. That's California, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. Number 2, Pocono Mountains, Pennsylvania. And number 1, again, good luck with these ones, Louisiana swamps. Is there a method to their madness, we wondered? Is it more than just a convenient place to stash bodies? Turns out, yes. Gary Ridgway, he dumped the first 5 of his 71 kills in the Green River after strangling and then having sex with the corpses. He told investigators that he viewed his bodies as possessions. He didn't like it when they were found because he would lose them if they were found. Ted Bundy, notorious, he called his dumping sites sacred ground. Ugh. Here's his quote: "They are part of you, and you are forever one. You feel the last bit of breath leaving their body. You then possess them, and they shall forever be a part of you. And the grounds where you kill them or leave them become sacred to you." Seriously? I want to bring in Mike King. He is a former homicide detective. He's also co-chair of the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. He spent the majority of his 28 years in law enforcement interviewing serial predators. And like the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez, you had lunch with him, prison lasagna, Mike King, I might add. What are these? You give me your perspective. You've been face-to-face with these people. I can't imagine what that's like, but give me your perspective on what their dumping grounds say about them.
Yeah, I think we can really get tunnel vision, Ashleigh, when it comes to these dumping grounds. I think we can, try to make up reasons why they're used. But what I've found over the course of my career and from people that trained me and people I've worked alongside, and it kind of seems consistent, is the fact that the predator, like normal legitimate behaviors, is number one, looking to be successful. They want to get away with this. And they generally are going to pick a location that they can be successful in disposing of the body. I think there's a little bit of theatrics when we hear Bundy or Ridgway or others talk about the special part of this ground. I think it's more about the fact that they are then shaken because somebody does discover the place where they're disposing bodies. And so the first thing that I looked for in these kinds of cases is trying to understand what the motivation of the offender was in selecting that particular piece of ground. Is it because they were successful, they could get away with it, it was a swamp where the body is going to be disappear quite quickly, or predators are going to take care of the body and helping get rid of the body? Or is it something that's sentimental? And, we look at it from a legitimate standpoint. I guess we all maybe have a special place in the yard that we put our pet turtle when it died. And it's a place that we go out and we look at, and we might think about little turtle or puppy dog or whatever the case may be. But these predators, I think first and foremost, it's about success.
I got 30 seconds left. I just wanted to mention Gary Ridgway felt violated, he said, when his victims' remains were found and collected. But I'm also so fascinated. If you can give me just a quick 1-2 on that lasagna lunch in the prison with the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. Can you just give me like what that was like, your biggest takeaway from that?
I actually, it's horrible to say, but Richard Ramirez was very polite, but he was very much in control.
Huh. Yeah, I can imagine that. I remember, I think you told the story at one point that when he was just 14, his cousin came back from Vietnam and showed him photos of him sexually assaulting and mutilating Asian women when he was in Vietnam. I always wonder if that's what the genesis was for his, twisted killings. Will you come back another time, Mike? I just love having you on.
I'd love to. Thanks, Ashleigh.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.